What is up guys, it's your boy Solheim here, back with another classic WoW video for Wrath of the Lich King Classic and Cataclysm. This will be the start of a video series that I'm doing in preparation for Cataclysm, showing you guys a couple of ways to make gold and farm gold, and helping you prepare for Cataclysm in an economical way. Now in this video, we'll be taking a look at some gold farms you can do inside dungeons, so this video will be primarily focused and only focused on farming inside dungeons and why you might want to do it. We'll be covering both classic WoW dungeons and TBC dungeons in this one, and then we have open world farms coming in a later video, and just focusing on one topic per video as per usual. Now, before we go into the video itself, I do want to say that I have made a Cataclysm gold making guide, which have been public for quite a while, but I haven't really published it in many videos. I haven't really been focusing on Cataclysm that much. I've been playing a lot of Season of Discovery, and I've just been making gold in Wrath on the side at the same time. I have made a ridiculous amount of gold in Wrath in prep for Cataclysm, and I want to show you guys how to do the same, and show you everything that I know basically when it comes to gold making. Now, if you want to check out the gold making guide, there will be a link down below in the video description or the pinned comment. This is a full gold making guide that I've made for Cataclysm, showing you farms to do right now, the best farms to do before the pre-patch as well. Like, we're farming an item worth between 30 and 50k right now that you can only farm until the pre-patch comes out, and we have several of those farms, some of which you have to do before the pre-patch, and some that only becomes available during the pre-patch as well. So if you want to check that out and farm as much gold as you can before going into Cataclysm, check out that gold making guide. It helps me out, and I think I can help you make a lot more gold as well. Definitely more gold than you would by buying a WoW token, for example. It's basically the difference between buying a fish and teaching a man how to fish. So with that gold making guide, we have people that have made millions of gold in that community. And yes, when you buy the gold making guide, by the way, you do get access to a private gold making community where you can ask me questions and you can all share tips and tricks together as well, and I share my best tips and tricks. You also get early access to future gold making videos in Cataclysm. So when we find the best farms in Cataclysm, you will see those before they go public, just to give you even more value for the product as well. And once again, it's a great way to support me. I will also be making one video exclusively on Patreon every single month, so if you do want even more gold making stuff, check out my Patreon, the link will be down below. It is currently focused a lot on Season of Discovery, but when Cataclysm comes out, I will be doing one video exclusively on that on Patreon as well. So you'll be getting one video on Patreon, a bunch of gold making posts, detailed gold making as well, covering sales, when to sell, what to buy, when to buy, and just giving you even more, basically, detailed guides on Patreon. Either way, with that being out of the way, let's check out the video and let's talk about some farms to do inside dungeons to prep for Cataclysm, which is coming out really soon, by the way. It's about a month, and to be fair, I did not expect it to be in this early. Well, I kind of did, but when they didn't announce it for so long, I thought they would delay it, because a 1 month announcement sounds a little bit rushed. Either way, I'm excited, so let's get into it. Now, the first dungeon that I want to cover here is a TBC dungeon, and that is Manats. This is one of my absolute favorites for gold making, because you're getting so many different, like, you're getting gold from so many sources. First of all, you have Transmog, which is coming out in Cataclysm, and Manats does have some pretty good Manats specific Transmog items. Not just that though, you can get world drops from TBC here. Think about the dagger, for example, the Dusky Blade or whatever it's called, you have that one, and you have a bunch of world drop, both blues and epic items that are currently selling for thousands of gold. Like one of the BOEs from TBC that are world drop is currently selling for 15,000 gold on my server, and that is over one WoW token from one BOE alone. And then you have steady gold coming in through the other greens you're getting as well. You have a lot of transmog items once again that will give you steady gold every single hour, and you also have the cloth that really adds up, but usually goes for vendor price anyway, but you can even use that to craft more stuff. Now, 2 tips when doing Manats is to have enchanting, first of all, to disenchant. Like, if you want to farm dungeons, I would highly recommend having enchanting on any character farming dungeons. This goes for both TBC, Wrath dungeons, and also classic dungeons. If you find any unwanted loot, the disenchanting material usually goes for a lot more than the vendor price. So when farming Manats, for example, those enchanting materials, both for the green items and the blues that are either from the bosses or even like random trash greens, they usually disenchant for 10 times the vendor price. So instead of vendoring, definitely have enchanting, disenchant those items, and get way more gold. Now for mana tombs specifically, the second profession I would run with is mining. That is because there are so many mining veins spawning inside this dungeon. There are herbalism nodes as well, but they are not really that significant, and they don't really give you that much. The mining veins, on the other hand, first of all, the ores are worth quite a bit, and they can also drop gems, which are also worth quite a bit. So the mining veins really are worth grabbing here. And the boss number 2, if you have mining, you can mine him for even more, and that way you can get more gems and more primals from that boss as well. So for Mana Tomb specifically, make sure you have enchanting and mining. It really gives you a lot more decent, like, steady gold per hour. So those two professions, they're not really mandatory, but they really help you out. So I would recommend having, for example, a plate user, that way you can farm like I'm doing right now. I'm on a fresh level 80, by the way. This one does not have any gear whatsoever at this point in this guy's lifespan. I'm a fresh level 80, and I'm farming this. I think I'm even using the level 70. Now I actually got an upgrade from the level 70 weapon. We're using like a 200 item level weapon, so like a fresh kind of level 80 weapon that we're using right here. We've done 1 or 2 beta dungeons, right? So you can do this as any class, but I would recommend being a plate user or somebody with self-heal and self-sustain. But the more gear you have, the more viable this becomes for absolutely everyone, and doing this in Cata, you can do it as pretty much any class. But me, I'm farming on a DK. Paladin would probably be slightly better, so Paladins are really good for this, but yeah, really good. And once again, grab enchanting, grab mining, and then start farming, and make sure to remember to mine the second boss, like the one in front of me right now. He can be mined and you get way more. Now here you can see my value from a 16-minute farm, 164 gold, and that is without getting any significant transmog items. This is just based on the mining materials we got, the enchanting materials we got, and also just like the random stuff that we got as well. This is also excluding the vendor price, so like this is 164 gold of looted item value, and we also looted 27 gold in currency looted. So it's basically 200 gold in 16 minutes. And you can even make it even faster with more gear. So you can cut it down to 12 minutes to 5 runs per hour and make over 1,000 gold per hour, without counting any of the transmog value, by the way, which is like where the real value comes from. Now, there are 2 other TBC dungeons that I'm personally doing and adding into my gold farming routine here. Number 1 is Magister's Terrace. There we go. For this one, once again, just try to pull whatever you can, don't pull too many, they do hit kind of hard, and the more gear you have, the more you can pull. At this point, my DK is getting really geared out. We are now running around in ICC 25-man gear. Not the best gear, like I don't have fully optimized gear yet, but we're running around in quite decent gear at this point, and pulling not as much as I could. I just do this as a casual farm, doing this while watching Netflix, Twitch, or YouTube, and just farming gold on the side, right? It's a super chill gold farm. That's why I love farming dungeons. You farm at your own pace, nobody's really competing against you, there's no competing for mob tanks, you just go into a dungeon and have a good time and farm some gold at the same time. Magister's Terrace also has some really good Magister's Terrace only items. There's certain items you can only get from this place, and they're also level 70 elites, being added later in TBC. They have a different loot table than the other mobs, than the other dungeons as well, so they have an increased loot table of better items. And I'm also doing this for another reason. I'm combining this with the mount farm, killing the last boss for the mount, trying to get that mount as well, and you can get so many good things inside this place. You also get Shattered Sun reputation, plus the recipe I just got here from a 2-minute farm or 1-minute farm is worth 800 gold. That being said, it's a dual crafting recipe, so will it sell for 800? I don't really know, but that is currently the region market value average price on that one item that I literally just looted from that one mob. Either way, really good farm. Once again, bring enchanting to disenchant materials or disenchant blues, because you do get 10 times more gold by disenchanting those items instead of vendoring them. And the third TBC dungeon in my farming route here is the Botanica. This one does not really give the best loot, but it's a really chill farm, and you can once again get some TBC World Drop BOE Epics and World Drop Blues as well, some of which are really valuable. And for the Botanica, this is how I have leveled quite a few of my Death Knights so far in Wrath, because you can literally level from level 68 or level 70, like level 68 to 70, to level 75 plus in this place. So you can level by doing the exact pulls I'm doing, but the lower level you are, the smaller pulls you want to do. But this is how I've been leveling so many characters. So if you have a level 70, not a Warlock, level 70 DK or level 70 Paladin you're looking to level up, they can level up by doing the farm I'm doing right now, and that way you're hitting 2 birds, 1 stone. You're leveling up your character in preparation for Cataclysm and farming gold at the same time. Once again, TBC, the expansion itself, has some really good transmog items, especially the world drops. And from this place you also get the added addition of getting decent steady gold per hour from the items for the reputation, for the Shatar. And this one people will want to have to buy recipes to make transmog. So it's still a transmog farm, even if you're not getting transmogs, you're getting items relevant to transmogs. You can either use the signets yourself, or you can sell them on the auction house, and right now they've gone up in price quite a bit. You have the Sunfury Signet and the Arcane Tomes, for example, they both drop from this place, and the Arcane Tomes on my server, there's, what was it, 17 gold each? So they have really jumped up in price, and that way you can get a lot more steady gold from this place, without having to rely on transmog items alone. Now, with the TBC dungeons out of the way, let's talk about some classic WoW dungeons you can do as well from the vanilla WoW expansion. Number 1 is Scarlet Monastery. Scarlet Monastery has some really good BOEs that are really sought after for a lot of people. You have the Beguiler Robes, you have Steelclaw Reaver, you have the Butcher, you have the Tainted Pierce and the Cobalt Crusher as a couple of examples here, and you have the Scarlet Set. So all of these are BOEs, they're droppable inside Scarlet Monastery, and you can just go there for a really chill farm. That being said, when you're farming, the difference for me between TBC and vanilla is that the items you're looking for in vanilla, they're really valuable, but if you don't get those items, you basically get nothing, because there's no steady gold. In TBC dungeons, there's a lot of steady gold while farming as well, while in vanilla, you're only hunting for a certain few items. But that being said, Scarlet Monastery is a really chill farm that requires like little to no brain power. You just go in, farm some mobs, go out, reset, and do this on repeat. There are also chests inside, so make sure to loot those while farming. Now, another dungeon that I would recommend doing is Sulfarak. This one is a little bit different, because some of these items that I'm showing you right now, they are not added until the Cataclysm pre-patch. So for me, Sulfarak is a farm I would do during the pre-patch, but I do want to include in this video anyway, because it's a preparation for Cataclysm, not just a pre-patch. So Sulfarak, maybe not do that right now before the pre-patch, but when the Cataclysm pre-patch comes out, you might want to add Sulfarak into your gold farming routine. Now, as you can see, Glorious and Jade and Tyrant is all dropping from this place, so Glorious is selling, like the entire set is selling, for 250k on my server. That is like what, more than 10 WoW tokens. That is 15 to 20 WoW tokens for the entire set. So if you get those Glorious items, they are super expensive and you've just struck gold. Now, apart from that, we also have these items right here: the Skull Flame Shield, Robes of Insight, Bloodwoven Mask, and Venom Shroud Mask, all capable of dropping inside Sulfarak after the pre-patch. So once again, Sulfarak after the pre-patch is a really good dungeon to do, and even though you're looking for those big jackpot items, there's so many of them that you should always strike gold, sometimes every hour or something. It's just a matter of like, which item do you hit. It's like you're looking for the jackpot, but you have 20 different jackpots when you're doing a slot machine. So yeah, it just matters on which one you actually end up getting. Now, the last dungeon farm on the agenda for today is Ulam Man, and in this one you're hunting for the real big jackpot items. In here there are items worth several hundreds of thousands of gold, depending on which ones you find. Now, that should probably tell you there's not a lot of steady gold coming through, but as you can see, based on my farm right here, 5 minutes, 30 gold. Not really anything to be really excited about, I would say. I mean, you're making probably about 300 gold, and that is if you're skinning everything, which is a massive downtime loss, by the way. So you don't want to spend the time skinning that I'm doing right now. You're just wasting time. You just want to keep moving, keep looting, keep looking for the jackpot items, and just keep on doing that, right? You're hunting for items worth way more than the time is worth here when it comes to skinning and mining, so don't care about any of the professions. Maybe do the mithril veins if those are worth it on your server. It really depends, because on some servers out there they are going for quite a bit, and on some servers they are really cheap. So it just depends on your server's price. That being said, Ulam Man is a really good place to be if you just want to smack out some dungeons and you want to farm for a few hours and hope for something really good. This is not a get rich quick type of place. You will probably on average have to spend 50 hours here to get like 1 or 2 good items. That being said, once again, the items are worth a lot of gold, so let's take a look at some of the items that are capable of dropping in this dungeon. So here we go, here we have a couple of items. We have the Digmaster 5000, we have the Papal Vest, and we have Miner's Hat of the Deep. Now, do me a favor, go on your server's auction house, search up those 3 items, and let me know in the comments down below how much they are going for on your server. I know that the Digmaster might not be the most expensive one, but the Papal Vest and the Miner's Hat of the Deep, those 2 are really expensive on most servers out there, because they're so rare. And when it comes to transmog, these are 2 transmogs that people always want to have, because of their rarity. It might not be the coolest looking transmog out there, but it's all about the exclusivity and having something that not everyone has. And when it's such a low drop rate, like, you will have to farm this dungeon for so much time before you even see one of these drop on average. Now you also have these ones. You have the Jackhammer, the Pendulum of Doom, Adventurous Pith Helmet, and the Jinsu Sword. Now personally, I really like the Jinsu Sword. It's a really cool looking transmog. It might not be the most insane looking one, but it just looks really clean. And that combined with a really clean enchant makes for a really clean transmog that a lot of people could be looking for. And once again, it's super rare. And we have these that I just showed you as well, and we have the other ones. So overall, Ulam Man is a really good dungeon to farm, but once again, you will not get rich in a day here unless you have insane luck. So it's all about getting lucky here. It's all about doing the dungeon over and over and over again, hunting for those super items, and when you find one, it probably will take some time to sell. This one is more to expand your stock, because when it comes to transmog items, you want to farm as many different ones as possible, because selling one transmog, if you only have one item, getting that sale could take you 100 days, but if you sell one transmog every 100 days, if you have 100 transmogs, different ones, in like, basically you will be selling one per day if you have 100 of them. So it's all about having as many different, unique and valuable transmogs as possible and keep reposting them, and that way you get rich. So instead of just farming for one specific one, do a couple different ones. So what I'm doing here is I'm doing usually 10 runs of Ulam Man, 10 runs of Mana Tombs, 10 of the other one, and just restocking whenever I need to. Instead of farming, for example, Mana Tombs 10,000 times in a row, you just want to farm different dungeons and keep increasing your stock from different places. Either way, that's the video. Pretty long one, but covering dungeons quite in depth for the Cataclysm expansion. Hopefully it helps you make some gold in Cataclysm. If you enjoyed the video, leave a like down below. Check out my Cataclysm Classic gold making guide as well through the link down below. As always, thank you for watching, and I'll see you again very soon.